Get ready for some epic woke meltdowns. Watch as delusional woke people get completely owned, with their arguments falling apart in real time. This is going to be wild. Imagine this: someone ranting at a college event full of confidence but making no sense. No logic, just pure chaos. Get ready for the madness. Watch this.
Are you like pro Charlie Kirk?
I'm with Charlie.
Because like I'm not gonna like do this interview if you're like pro Charlie Kirk.
Why? Do you not support freedom of speech?
No, I do. That's great and all, but like I am just like so hot-headed. He's at the wrong frat, because if anything, these are the guys getting girls pregnant and then having to have abortions. So he should probably go.
Why is abortion such a big issue to you?
Because I'm a girl, and like if I wanted to have the guy and then he got me pregnant because these would, then I'd want to be able to have an abortion. Is Charlie Kirk gonna like debate what I'm saying right now? Because I'm so down for it.
Now watch this wokie's logic fall apart as a die-hard Kamala Harris supporter struggles to name even one solid accomplishment while trying to defend her record. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well.
Are you voting for Kamala?
I am.
Okay, what is her greatest...
Hey, free speech? Free speech?
Yeah, they have the freedom of speech to boo you. That's right.
Do I have the freedom of speech? Okay, so if I boo them, then it's an impediment of freedom of...
No, but I just gave you an open mic for 15 minutes. Let's just tell me, what is Kamala Harris's greatest accomplishment?
The greatest accomplishment, that goes back to sort of establishing an extreme. I can't definitively say, oh, this is the greatest, though, like, absolute...
Name an accomplishment of hers.
An accomplishment of her? She got in. When she was the Attorney General of California, she fought the insurance companies to decrease prices that they're not going to be price gouging. That's an accomplishment.
Wow. Okay. So that's worthy of your vote.
You support price gouging?
Well, no. I'm just curious. What has she done as vice president that makes you be like, that's my gal?
What is the vice president's? The vice president is just president of the Senate. They don't have much.
Oh, that's interesting. If it's just a ceremonial role, why do we even have a VP?
Well, that's not the point. I'm saying.
She was tasked to control the border. How is she done?
The vice president doesn't control the border.
They get portfolio projects from the president. She was given a portfolio project of the border. How is she done?
Again, she doesn't make any individual. I don't think she makes a top-down decision about the border.
She made a decision to reverse 50 Trump executive orders. Do you think Kamala Harris has done an objectively good job managing our border?
No.
Okay. I appreciate the honesty. Thank you.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any more absurd, here's someone who claims they've done the research. Spoiler alert, their research comes straight from CNN and The View. Brace yourself for another woke train wreck.
I had people telling me about the Democratic Party, like different stuff. They were like, this is good because of this. And then I had my family, they're like, well, Trump's good because of this. I just started researching literally 3 days ago. And I fell down this whole like rabbit hole of so much stuff.
So crime was lower under Trump than under Kamala and Joe Biden. Much lower. Violent crime was substantially and sizably lower in every major metro area in every major state.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
You want to be able to own a home?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, under Kamala, it requires $135,000 a year to own a home. Under Trump, it was $75,000 a year.
I kind of just don't...
You care about ending war? Yeah, war's bad.
Did he, like, actually end war?
Yeah, it was the first president in 32 years for no new wars for 4 years. New war under Obama, new war under Bush, new war under Clinton, new war under Biden. No new wars under Donald Trump 4 years.
Right.
Donald Trump has people around him, 2 former Democrats that ran for the presidency, Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard. Do you know who those people are? Not? That's okay. You should do research. They're former Democrats that ran for the presidency, and they're behind Trump because Trump is a ticket that's unifying the country and will make the country great again.
After all that, here's Wokey, someone confidently predicting the future with zero logic.
What is he trying to take away from black people?
Read all of the Project 2025 documents, taking away abortion rights. I disagree with that strongly.
Where can I learn more about Project 2025 on Trump's website?
It's not on his website.
But it's his policies, right?
It's policies that he's trying to implement.
It's one that he supports, or like he's trying to...
When did he endorse it or support it?
There's been multiple interviews and at his press conferences where he'll say that even before he ran for this presidency, he talked about how when Project 2025 was more in the works, he was talking about his collaboration with the creator and his standpoint on it and how he wanted to push it forward during this presidency now.
Okay, so if I wanted to read it, where do I go?
I feel like you can just search it up.
You said Trump has never done anything for you guys or any of that stuff. Trump implemented in 2018 tax cuts. On average, that median average Americans have an extra $200 a month, $2,400 a year because of the new tax brackets they're on. The median household income for black people increased to $5,000, to the highest it's ever been under Trump, specifically because of those tax cuts. That is more money in minorities.
If you thought the woke circus was over, think again. Up next, a debate about transgenderism, where facts meet feelings. And let's just say the facts hit hard. Watch as the woke logic crumbles under a reality check about ideologies, gender, and the consequences of denying basic truths.
First, my question deals with your notion. In this speech, you talk about transgenderism, which you refer to as an ideology, but it's interesting because the American Medical Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, they don't view it as that, but...
Do they not?
No, they don't. They specifically don't say transgenderism. They refer to gender identity disorder, which is the psychopathology.
Oh, but I'm not talking about gender identity disorder. I'm talking about transgenderism, which is an ideology.
I'm not gonna. That's not my question, so I'm not gonna get into that.
I just wanted to correct your premise.
But gender affirming care is what you would encompass in transgenderism. But gender affirming care is also towards the treatment.
Gender affirming care is when you tell a confused boy that he's really a boy, not a girl. Gender denying care is what the ideologues are pushing forward now, which tells sexually confused boys that they need to chop off their genitals. Right. That's a big difference, though. It means the opposite of the phrase that you're using.
The question that I had was that you paint transgenderism as this consequence of feminism. First off, not like an actual question. Would you consider like drag queens a consequence of transgenderism?
No. Drag queens, transvestitism, all these kind of odd eccentricities have existed throughout all of human history, of course. There's no question about that. The ideology that a man really can become a woman and a woman really can become a man, and that men who identify as women are entitled to the public rights that women are entitled to, that is very different than a man in a back alley dressing up as a woman for the giggles of patrons at a seedy bar or something like that. And that's, the fact that some eccentric people put on weird sort of performances, that doesn't threaten to destroy all of society, but the denial of reality and the obliteration of women's private spaces and rights, that does threaten to upend.
And now, we dive into a classic woke tactic, challenging someone's support for Trump with the usual character arguments. But watch what happens when the conversation shifts to actual results and promises kept. It's a wake-up call they didn't see coming.
For a man who, in many ways, is the antithesis of those values in Donald Trump.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Joe Biden. Well, yeah, so you're asking why do I support a sinner?
Why do you support someone who...
Because you're obviously not a sinner, right?
No, I'm a sinner, but his whole life and his values are all the antithesis of what the Ten Commandments are and things like that.
Okay, so I'm not even sure what to make of that. Let's just look at his presidency. I mean, was he not an excellent president?
I believe that character matters in our leaders.
I do too. So here's my number one market character for a politician. Did you do what you say you were going to do? And Donald Trump did what he said he was going to do.
Sorry, do we have a wall across the whole southern border right now?
Well, we built a couple hundred miles of border wall.
But he said he was going to build a full wall.
Right, there were limitations for that. He shut down the government for 60 days over that. Hold on a second.
Wait, who is you?
I'm sorry?
You said you shut down the government. Who is you?
Donald Trump shut down the government for 60 days to try to get $4 billion in border wall funding. He put Schumer and Pelosi in his office. He did everything at his disposal while he was facing 2 impeachments and 1 ridiculous special counsel investigation.
After all that talk about values and promises, here's a perfect example of woke logic in action. Ashamed of nothing, offended by everything. They don't want rights, they want special treatment. Watch as they dodge a simple question, and it says everything you need to know.
How important are women's rights?
Incredibly rude question.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say a 0 to this conversation.
No. Women's rights.
To say leave me alone, go away.
What does that mean?
You look it up in a dictionary.
Same dictionary that you guys don't even know what a woman is.
Now watch as this wokie got offended when she lost an argument.
Isn't Andrew Tate like 5'8"?
Oh, he's like 6'3".
Really? He has that short man energy that like thought he was like under.
Wait, whoa, hold on. What does that mean?
Yeah, it was kind of mean. It was like a derogatory stance. Like,
you know what? I'll let it slide as long as you're okay with that girl energy.
Moving on to another wokie who is trying to normalize insanity, promoting obesity as beauty simply because it's easier than putting in the work to be healthy. That's a mental issue, plain and simple. Watch how this delusion unfolds.
I do agree that there is stigma that I have to deal with because I am fat. I'm actually really in celebration of my body. I find beauty in diversity. And the assumption that we've dealt with a lot on this show is that just because you're obese, you must overeat, you must have an eating disorder. I know that not to be the case. I know you can have a healthy relationship.
If you want to feel good about yourself, it's impossible to feel good about yourself when you're doing something that's self-destructive. Destructive behaviors that result in damage or debilitation or even disfigurement to the body, that's never going to be perceived.
The thing is that I think that the Hayes approach, the health at every size approach, has been documented and it's been documented to work year after year.
What do you mean work? What do you mean work? Because a health at every size is a lie. If you starve yourself into damage, that's unhealthy. Eat yourself into damage, that's not healthy.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
That's just not.
Here,
that's not true.
You're making
that's
a
like
lot of
saying,
assumptions.
That's like saying
about
that.
Weight
let's
being
say you were a smoker.
self-destructive.
Let's say you're a smoker and have black lungs, and you try to say that's healthy because you don't have cancer yet. We know that it is actually factual that obesity is dangerous and it's connected to cancer, Alzheimer's. We even know it's connected to an increase in birth defects.
Now, last but not the least, we have this trans activist who couldn't answer a simple question.
Promote ends up with people dying because of it.
About that.
Because
Let's discuss that.
Because you promote like this hate towards people like me and other trans people, and trans people get murdered because of the hate against them. So it's not just like a free speech thing. It's
Do you know what the murder rate of transgender people is?
What do you? Oh my God,
Let's talk about that data because that's a claim that you make, and I'd like to explore that with you.
Okay, well, you know what? Just stop this. You should be. This is harassment.
Okay, you made a claim. You made a claim, and we'd like to.
So what are your thoughts on these delusional woke people getting owned? Comment below and subscribe for more content like this.